A long time no see. I am in my dorm room right now and I've thought about talking about the first 6 months of the year, what I've been reading, what I found. I'm just gonna go and read out the question and then try to answer the question. The thing that changed in the past few months for me is that I started to rate every book on Goodreads 5 stars. So this kind of brought to my enjoyment of the book more, and I'm not thinking about whether I like the book or dislike the book, what rating should I give it, 3 or 4. I'm just enjoying the books now because I know that every book will get 5 stars from me. So this kind of led me to a more enjoyable reading life, and this is why I want to talk about the books that I read this year, because I think there's quite a few of them. So this year, up until this point, I read 47 books. 47 is a good number. I've opened my Goodreads and let's just head on to the question. So the first question is, we're starting with a bang, and it's best book you've read so far in 2020. The best book that I've read so far in 2020 is very hard to answer. It's very hard to answer because the freshest books are the freshest and they're the best right now. The last book that I read that I absolutely adore is I Was Born for This by Oseman. My heart. And honestly, right now, this is the best book that I read. I Was Born for This by Oseman. But if I think about all of the books that I read, Assassin's Apprentice I read at the beginning of the year, and I know it's my favorite. And so, yeah, for this question, the best book that I've read so far in this year is definitely Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb, closely followed by I Was Born for This by Oseman. And the next question is the best sequel you've read so far. The best sequel I've read? I have read quite a few of the sequels. I've read The Heartstopper Volume 4, but I don't know if that's my best sequel. I read Mr. Impossible, and I'm certain that this is not my best sequel. I can say that. I read, of course, the sequel to The Assassin's Apprentice, and for now I think The Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb is the best sequel, and after that I would go with the only other sequel, which is, oh no, what about the Murderbot series? But I still like the first one the most, so yeah, for the best sequel we'll go with Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb. The next question is about new releases that I haven't read yet but want to, and for this I'll have to go with a release that still hasn't come out yet, and it's the third book in the Beartown series. I don't know when it will come out. It's thought to come out maybe this year, maybe next one. So this is the one that I don't know when it will come out, but I want to read it. The other one that we know when it comes out, I think somewhere in September, and it's by C.S. Pacat, Dark Rise. And it's young adult, so I'm kind of hesitant because I like her adult works, but we'll see what she does in this book. It also hasn't come out yet, but I really, really want to read it because I trust her, and she writes such good dialogues. Like, the dialogues have this tension in them that I just do not know how it's achieved, but I love it. Okay, the next question is most anticipated release for the second half of the year. Again, C.S. Pacat, Dark Rise, maybe if Beartown comes out, also that. The third one that I haven't mentioned, but it's like at the top of the list, is the second book in the Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. There'll be a second book and no one is talking about it. At least I haven't heard anyone talk about it, but I am so excited. That book, I have to reread it. I've reread it once already, like a few years back, and I have to reread it again. Actually, you know what? I think I'm just gonna go reread it, like right now. Like, F everything, I'm gonna reread it, maybe. Okay, the next question is the biggest disappointment in, in the first half of the year. And this I'll have to go with Mr. Impossible by Maggie Stiefvater. It wasn't a bad book, by no means. It was a fun, entertaining little book full of action and things that I didn't really all that much cared about. I think, you know, the new characters that were introduced in the book, because this is a spin-off series of the Raven Cycle, and we were following Ronan, who was my favorite character, and now Adam is my favorite character, and we did not get Adam in Mr. Impossible. We got like 1 or 2 chapters with him, So this is, I think, why this book was so disappointing for me, because I like Ronan and the new characters, Hennessy and Jordan. I love Declan Jordan romance. I think it's very well done. The way he freaking proposes, like, I am not into, you know, proposals and marriage and all of that stuff, but he does it in such an unromantic, you know, down to the business side of it, that I just adored that scene. Oh yes, spoiler alert and all that. But overall, the book just did not do it for me, because of course, if you're following Ronan, you expect Adam to be a huge part of his life. And I don't know, you know, why wasn't he? I mean, it was kind of obvious that people who are gonna read about Ronan would be interested and would mostly be the fans of their relationship as well. It just seems like a missed chance, missed opportunity, you know. So yes, I was disappointed by Mr. Impossible. Next question is the biggest surprise, the biggest surprising book, and I will have to go with I Was Born for This by Alice Oseman. The last book that I read, I literally had zero expectations. I don't even know why I wanted to read it. I guess I was just like feeling down and I wanted something easy and fluffy and young adult, and I went for this book and I read it in 2 sittings. It touched my hearts in hearts, all of them, in ways that I just did not expect. And of course, this is what it means to be this surprising. You don't expect something and then it hits you over the head, over the heart, over the soul, whatever. This hit me. I was born for this. If I had to choose another surprising one, I don't think I can't really. Oh my god. Okay, let's just go back to the most disappointing books and erase Mr. Impossible, because this was not the most disappointing book of this year. The most disappointing book of this year ruined me whole, and it is The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. This book should be burned at a stake, and we should all pretend that this does not exist, okay? At least I should pretend. I didn't like it. I know some people like it. Oh my god, that book just destroyed me. After The Cruel Prince, after the heights of literature, of everything, of escapism, we get Queen of Nothing. Yeah, nothing. We get nothing. And now we have favorite new author, debut or new to you or to me. And that's definitely Martha Wells with her Murderbot series. I've never read anything by her. This year was my first contact with her series. I binged read every book in the series except the last one, like one after another, and that was at the time when I just could not read anything. I was in the biggest reading slump. I still kind of am, but these books kind of brought back the enjoyment of reading for a little bit, and they were so relatable, with this Murderbot being all depressing and, you know, hating people and not knowing how to live his life, their life. I'm just, you know, it's relatable, okay? And these books, Martha Wells, fantastic. The next question is the newest fictional crush. The newest fictional crush. I'm gonna go with crush as in, you know, platonic, and it would have to be Jimmy. Jimmy from I Was Born for This, because this was the book that oh, actually, you know, no, I will not go with Jimmy. I will go with the Fool from Assassin's Apprentice, because the Fool is my spirit animal. The Fool is the character that I love the most out of all of the books that I read this year. He is just such a... it's unexplainable. You know those weird characters that surprise you in various ways? The Fool is such a character where he just says like things that you can't understand and no one can understand around him, and then in the end they always prove to be true and to have meaning and to be like really intelligent, and it's like, why did you doubt me? Why did you doubt me? I'm so smart. And you are. I love smart characters that other people think are stupid but are actually pretty smart deep inside. So yes, the Fool from Assassin's Apprentice is my fictional crush. And next question is newest favorite character. Okay, so I said the Fool as fictional crush, so favorite character will then have to be Jimmy from I Was Born for This. And now I'm just gonna check which books I've read so I don't miss something. I read Winter Soldier and the Falcon and the Winter Soldier comic. I loved the Winter Soldier in there, but he's not my favorite. I read a lot of non-fiction this year as well, so no characters there. Yeah, I think I will go with Jimmy, and he has his own inner demons in a way, in every way. It's very nice to read about characters who suffer, so you can be like cathartic after you end up finishing the book, which definitely happened to me. I loved it. Then we have book that made you cry. And the first book that I read this year was Lord of the Rings, and it made me cry. At the end, when Gandalf says, I will not say do not cry, for not all tears are an evil, and I started to cry so much. I started to cry too much. And then I cried and cried, and it was beautiful. So the book that made me cry was definitely Lord of the Rings. It was my first reading of Lord of the Rings, but you know, the movies are the movies that I grew up with. So all of these characters, once again, revisiting them, and I forgot how it ended, and so in the book, coming to the end and seeing how it ended. Next we have book that made you happy. Now that's harder. Crying is easy. Being happy is very hard. What does it mean to be happy? Ta-da-da, existential crisis. I don't know. I would say Heartstopper volume 1 to 4. I reread the first 3 volumes. Volume number 4 was first time reading, and they just fluffy little comics. I guess they were making me happy, or at least you know, escaping the real life. Is that happiness? I don't know. But anyway, I will go with Heartstopper for this one. I would go with Martha Wells and the Murderbot, but there are some times where the action was so intense that I just had no time to be happy. I was just like, what is happening? So Heartstopper was kind of not really down to earth, it's so unrealistic, but you know what I mean. The next question is most beautiful book you've bought or received this year, and it's the book that is holding this phone. It's sáenz Apprentice trilogy. I bought the whole trilogy and I absolutely adore them. They're yellowish with, you know, some gilded stuff, I guess it's how you called it. I don't know. They're really nice, and I think the beauty of the book comes from what's inside. For me, if it's a good book, like A Little Life, before I read it, I just thought it was the most stupid cover ever, like a face on the cover, whatever. After I read it, right now, looking at the Little Life cover, I'm like, chills, you know, beauty and grace. So yeah, the covers are definitely not varying, how do you say this? They, you know, are connected with what's inside the book. And right now, the best books, most beautiful books of this year are definitely the Robin Hobb books. And next question, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? Well, that's a big question, because there's a lot of books that I want to read. I don't need to read anything, but I guess I do have in plan to read. What do I have in plan to read? I want to reread To Like the Lightning by Ada Palmer and then finish the whole series. I want to read the books that I bought. I have this here, a book that I brought with myself to my dorm room, The Goldfinch, and I really want to read this one because Donna Tartt is one of my favorite authors. Right now, Catch-22, I need to finish it. I'm in the middle of it and I love it, but I still haven't finished it. And as the last one, I will say Milan Kundera. What is the title? The Unbearable Lightness of Being. I don't know what it's about. I know that it's popular and a classic kind of, and my mother read it, she loved it, and so I will go and try to read that one. And the book that I actually want to read the most, and the new author, at least to me, new author, is what is she called? Yeah, Becky Chambers. The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet is definitely the book like at the top of my list that I do really want to read and start this series. I have it at home as well. So yes, this is and was the mid-year book freakout challenge tag, whatever. So thank you for sticking with this video, and I will see you in the next... Yeah, I botched this. And I will see you in my next one. Bye.